I wouldn't say that I slept on any other artists coming out of Chicago because it was my job, kind of like how it's you guys, quote unquote, job now. So I was you guys 15 years ago, you know, listening to the music and going and picking up CDs and just like really digesting it and got your crew and, you know, just trying to make sure. Yeah. But then, you know, you just kind of see the game for really what it is. And it's like, what's more important, you know, me and my family or, you know, making sure these rap niggas eat, right? You know, so, and I think my exit out of the game was like, I did a mixtape with Psychodrama. And, you know, they're just, you know, just some of the greatest well-known West Side, forget about it. Right. But it was just so many problems, like industry, real industry shit that was tied into doing that mixtape. Like, they did like 8 songs with the legendary Traxster, and then the legendary Traxster is like well known for not putting his shit out. Like he'll do songs with artists, and then he owns them because he did the beats and they did it in the studio, and he'll have you sign off all the rights because you want to work with Trax because Trax, you know, produced all of the early. Once Chicago got on, Do or Die, fucking Twister, everything, all of that shit, everything except Common, like all of this, the West Side shit, he did all of that shit, all the early Psychodrama, all the early Twister, all the early Do or Die, except Crucial, who was in-house. They did all their own shit. So they hand me, Psychodrama hands me a CD with 8 legendary Traxster songs that are never going to see the light of day. Wow. They have not worked with the legendary Traxster since the 90s, since You Right, and they earliest shit. Wow. So this is like underground, low-key, real Chicago West Side hip-hop fans are fiending for this. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever combination that you dream of, that's a combination that fans online were like looking for. So I have a CD, and I'm like, we're gonna do this mixtape. But Trax is never gonna, he's never gonna okay it. He's never gonna, we're just gonna put it out anyway. And that's what we did. And the shit hit the fan because Psychodrama had this manager that had been locked up for like forever and was never getting out. Damn. And then all of a sudden he got out. Yeah. The Chicago way. So now he wants his right. So now he wants his cut of the game. Now Trax is upset because we put out this mixtape of all of the songs, and then some of the artist management is acting like they never handed me the CD with the songs on it to put it out in the first place. So he's washing his hands of the whole thing. Right. So Mike Love is taking all the heat. So I'm taking heat from the group, I'm taking heat from the manager, and I'm taking heat from Trax. Damn. But because I'm Mike Love and and that's another thing, just worked on getting your name to a point of a level of respect. You know, always coming from a level of respect with people and artists, and you can sit down. I always say to people, I've had many sit-downs because the mob type of sit-downs. Right. Because if you don't, you getting your ass beat. Yeah. So there's way the shit is handled in the streets, Chicago style. Right. Either we coming for you to beat your ass, or we sitting down with you. And I was the guy that they always sat down with because I always had respect for them. So I had respect for everybody. I sat down with everybody in their house, in their studios. So I could sit down with Traxster, and he was like, this ain't good, man. This ain't good. This is not. So here's what we gonna do. You're going to print up another 1,000 of those CDs on your dollar, and you're going to give them to me. And I'm going to sell them. And you're not going to make any money off of this project because you put out this music without, I sat down with Traxster, and I sat down with DJ Sluggo, never forget it, in his studio. And that was the tipping point of me going, this game is not for me. Right. I'm not built for this. Right. I'm built for the sit down and we can work it all out.
Negotiate. Let's work together. Let's compromise.
But I saw that, and I still say that the game is rigged from a Chicago standpoint because there's always some shit behind the scenes that's waiting to fuck the game up. That's why everybody leaves. Everybody leaves because locally there is somebody, an old manager, because that's the thing. Everybody always signs with somebody out the gate, even though they don't need to, they don't want to. So they got papers with some dope dealer who, funded them, put them on everybody. Everybody has that tie to the street. That's just rap, just from Eazy-E promoting fucking NWA in the 80s to now.
Right.
The only black entrepreneurs that got behind rap was the street niggas. Yeah. You couldn't go to the store owners. You couldn't go to George's music room because they didn't believe in rap.
Right.
The drug dealers, the Eazy-E's, and all of those people, the Shugs and all of those niggas, all them street niggas that we all know their names from then till now, believed in rap because that's what they was listening to. They was pumping that shit. They saw this. Exactly. So I had to get out of the game as far as like trying to put Chicago on the map and all of that shit. So that was kind of like my exit, and I got a lot of love for Psychodrama to this day. Yeah. The members of the crew and to Tracks, I love them. But just the way that all panned out, I was like, that's the game. Wow. You just got to be you got to have a special mindset, be of a special mind to be willing to put your life on hold and be like, this is what we getting ready to do. We getting ready to deal with because everybody don't want to have a sit down. Yeah. Some niggas is coming with guns. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas is coming to beat your ass.
Like this bullshit off top.
Yeah. So you got to be ready. I mean, I know niggas is ready to scrap at any minute. You know what I'm saying? Like they not sit down and have a conversation type cats. Right. So when cats invade their space, they ready to throw. Yeah. They ready to thump. So if you know what I'm saying, like I sit behind a mic and talk shit. I'm not built for that.
Right, yeah.
I'm keeping 120. keeping it 120. Yeah. I had to step out the game because I'm not ready to scrap at any, all my features of all this. It worked a while to get all this.
Yeah,
so that's my other story. There's a million of those.
I'm glad you said it. I'm sorry, Jones, if I'm cutting you
off.
No,
you good.
But because I mean, obviously, all of us, us more of this new era, like we always get the conversations, man, how can I get on Chicago? Or everybody thinks that they're going to put Chicago on the map. And it's like, and for me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, educate, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying this and asking this type of stuff for. I always tell cats, it's like, you don't want to run Chicago because, and me not even just subconsciously knowing this, just from people I've talked to, I was like, you don't want to run Chicago because Chicago will feel like you owe.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, Chicago will come for its just due. Like it's just the way the city is made up. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say this, like the city is built on a crooked foundation. Like if you build a house on a shitty foundation, it's gonna be a shitty house. So the city is crooked, and these are things we know from the government. It touches everything, to the music industry. Everybody's got a story of. And when I moved here, because I moved here like in the 94, 95, I was like, man, so people just allow? Like people is like just crooks? Like they just voting? And it's just it's like after a while you're like, well shit, that's like either you a crook or you gonna become a crook, or the game. So I stepped out of the game because I didn't want no parts of that. I'm like, I still want to be the good guy. I know I don't want to be into that. But yeah, the game is going to come to collect. Always. There's always, like to this day, like they threw that festival on the West Side, and they came for them. Like Common did that with my girl, One and Only Events.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Common did that joint.
Each other one.
Yeah. So he did it, and then like a second year, but they came because that's what they do in the Chi. So they like, how you gonna throw this on the West Side of Chicago? Ain't no West Side of Chicago artists on here. We shutting this shit down. And everybody has connections to the streets. The thing about Chicago, God, that's why I love this about this city, is like everything is controlled by street organizations. So if you hire security of any level, they have some sort. They either been locked up or they are tied into a street organization.
Yep.
They BDs, GDs, VL, something.
Right, something.
So all I got to do with my connection to you is walk up to you and be like, hey, I need you to let me backstage. Oh, yeah, we good. We good. You VL, you Vice Lord, I'm Vice Lord.
Right.
Fuck what the organizers talking about. You in.
Right.
So you went from out, standing on the outside, to in because you are plugged to the streets. Everything about this city is about being plugged to the streets. Chief Keef, whoever, I don't. Yeah. So Bump J, like, I could just roll off all of this shit. I've seen it. Either you got to be like Common and Kanye where you like, I'm out this bitch. You cannot make this shit pop here. You cannot. It's just not set up for that. It's not because I don't give a fuck how affiliated you are. Like somebody like Bump J was like the most gangster. Nigga, he was chief. They called him chief. Like, it don't get no higher than that.
Right.
But still, this nigga still out robbing banks for whatever reason.
Right.
The shit just didn't pop because that's another thing. Like, Chicagoans just don't make music outside of Chicago.
Right, true.
You know? So the Bump J, I literally was on the plane, DJ Drama back when Gangsta Grills was Gangsta Grizzles, nigga. Right. I'm on a plane with him, and he's like, yeah, your guy Bump J from Chicago is getting ready to do a Gangsta Grills. I was like, oh, yeah, that's about to be big. He's the worst, man. He was like, he sucks. Like, this nigga told me to his face that he told them niggas that Bump J sucks. Like, he's like, but I'll take your money and we'll do this Gangsta Grills. Wow. And I was like, man, you are just the gangsterest nigga ever. Right. To like tell them niggas that they suck to their face.
Wow. Right, exactly.
But
I was like, I was getting ready to say like, that couldn't have went well.
Right. They could have went way left.
I don't know. He told me to my face that he told them that they suck, whether or not that happened. But the thing is like, it's really always been hard to get those records because we make records for us,
right?
Yeah.
You know, and then the support system. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, they always had a hot 107 in Atlanta that was like playing those, and you know, Power 92 has been to a certain degree as well, but it's just the makeup of the city is different. The makeup of Atlanta, the makeup of the city. So I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse and drag that shit out.
But no, I think you brought up something really great, and I'm glad you made the time to radio. Now, it's also my thing is, 'cause I only lived in Atlanta for like a year, but what I did notice, and I'll use Jones' thought process on this. Just like, you said New York doesn't make like fun music. I don't think Chicago makes fun music. Like, it's hard to have
fun, nigga.
Right, exactly.
Nigga shit.
Yeah,
know?
Exactly. Like, you can't tell
music.
a CBS or an iHeartMedia, yo, we want this gangster shit on over here.
Right.
Like, that to me, it's like, and sometimes it's not that the music is bad, but I know Magic wasn't supposed to be on the radio. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm ready to get my pimp on. It's the opening bar for a song that I heard about to play.
Right, exactly.
Nah, like, it's not gonna happen. But then, like, I mean, but the culture of Chicago, street niggas in Chicago, is just different. I went to Atlanta. I'm glad you brought up the Snap era, because that's when I moved down there. Like, I moved 2 days before Jeezy's album dropped.
Okay.
And to see Jeezy and Fabo be able to coexist, not only in the same music scene, but in the same area, was mind-boggling to me. Right. It was like, wait, hold on. Because I was like, Jeezy, the Trap or Die nigga, is with the Don't Be Shy, I'm Fabo, Laffy Taffy nigga. And they're both on. One is at Visions, one is at 112, and this is cool. Like, nothing's going to happen. We're not going to beat up the D4L niggas and the CTE niggas is not getting stepped on. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, that is so foreign to me, because because like, you couldn't have like Common and Twisted, even though they're cool, nothing like about them. I'm not saying that, but they can't both be like, oh, one's at the Aragon and one's like down the street, or like even in the same like area. Like, it's just not happening that.
It's not.
And so like, but just like that culture of being different, like, hey, you know what? Look, we all broke niggas trying to get money, or we trying to get money a better way. Do your thing, I'll do mine. Shout to Prodigy. But versus it just being the culture of that just being super different up here. But I will say at least they're attempting to make songs that they know represent them, but will still put them on the radio, put them in the mainstream. And I think that's one thing that Chicago, I don't even say they can't do it. I say they don't want to do it.
Yeah. I've never felt like people here really understood, cared to understand. If the producers and the rappers come from a certain place, a certain mindset, Atlanta has been on the radio, throughout the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Right. All the way through.
Absolutely.
So they have a place to look. They have a place to work, and producers, and so you can work with a platinum producer that nobody knows he's a platinum producer.
Right.
We don't have that here. So, your Bangladesh's of the world. A perfect example. That's a dude I forgot from the earlier conversation. Somebody like him who did a Millie and was doing songs with he was doing shit with Ludacris in the early to mid 90s and 2000s. So all of that, so I have that to work with. So I can call a platinum producer and have him come to the studio, and we can produce a song that is radio ready, radio friendly. Whereas that doesn't happen in Chicago because the radio those songs haven't been on the radio. The producers haven't had that exposure, and neither have the rappers. So when you just look at what's in front of you every day, all it is gunshot warfare, nigga. That's what we gonna rap about, because that's what we see. Whereas Jeezy can rap about that, but he's also gonna rap about the strip club and all of that other stuff, and those are the joints that get them on. And then they got somebody standing over them to saying, okay, we're gonna put the spit shine on it. Okay, this song with Akon is gonna be the one that goes. So all of that shit is cool. We got the Manny Fresh joint, and we got the Akon joint. And at that time, that's when Akon was still like the shit. Fucking multi-platinum artist. So that's the song that broke Jeezy into the mainstream. All that other shit was street, and we was on it regardless. We was on it from Trap or Die, from the mixtapes and all of that. So we was going either way. But they still needed it to pop on the radio. And it did because of those connections and the industry being right there. There's no industry here as well. So there's so many reasons why somebody is never going to be able to put Chicago on their back. And the main reason is the one you stated, is because them streets is coming for you as soon as you get on.
And one of the things I noticed, I always say this, being from Gary, I'm so close where I get it, but I'm so far away where I can look at it and I'm like, oh, this is different. And one thing I look at Chicago, piggybacking off what you're saying, like nobody's ever going to be able to put Chicago on. I think the sides of the city where black people are the most, the west and the south side, they don't rock the same. Like they two different worlds from what I noticed. And so it's like, how do you unite that under one sound? Like, people, like I didn't know until later, until I got older, that Twista and Common weren't from the same part of the town. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the west side is totally different. This is like me getting into radio, doing street team around the city. Like, oh, they don't even talk the same out west as they do out south. And like, even as ubiquitous as Bump was in the city in the mid 2000s, I don't even think his reach was like that out west. It was cool, like, we know this dude, but it's not like, this is the guy we all pushing this guy.
King of the South Side, especially over East. Ridiculous. But that was where he's from. So Kanye was the first person that the whole city embraced. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole city, because I never forget a story. My first publicist, she went to FAMU in the 90s, and it was right around the time Hey in the Middle of the Barn dropped. So the video was on the box or whatever, and they, so they like, that's how y'all get down in Chicago. Like she from over east, south side, southeast, like 71st and Jeffrey. And she like, these niggas in a video, literally in a barn, jumping up and down. And she's like, and her people is like, so that's how y'all get down in Chicago? She's like, absolutely not. We do not get down like that. No, we don't.
Like you need to visit. Like,
right. So the thing, and that to me is a story I tell all the time, because it is a true definition of the separation that is the city of Chicago. And, you know, segregation. I mean, the city is built on segregation.
Yeah.
You know, black folks are segregated from each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're different out west than we are out south than we are up north.
Yeah.
So just do your day jobs, fellas, and stay out of the rap game because the rap game is fucking ugly, bro.
Hey,
and I see people every day that want to be in it and be a part of it. I'll be like, hey, have fun. Have fun. Good luck with that. You know, it is what it is, man. You know, every game ain't for everybody.
True. Very true.